Drogba indirdi ceza. Snyder. Snyder gol! Allah'ım gol! Muslera. Fernando Muslera. Golün adı Muslera. Salih, Drogba. This is incredible.
Merhaba and welcome to episode 35 of The Lion's Den, a Galatasaray podcast done by the community for the community. I thank everyone from the deepest corners of my heart. We got around 210 followers all around. So give big applause to all my fellow podcast members. We've got the full squad. From Toronto, Canada, Coach John. How you doing, John?
Doing well, man. Glad to see everyone back. The boys are back. How many weeks has it been?
I don't know.
Too
It's
many.
Too long.
Too many. I've been ill over the past few weeks, and then others. So, but we have the full fucking squad. With that said, all the way from Melbourne, Australia, Mazhar.
Muzzy.
Well, that's a new one. All right, I'll take that over Croco. But
Was it
Yeah,
Muzzy,
been
that
good.
language teacher, that big animal?
Yeah,
You guys know
yeah,
what I'm talking
yeah.
about?
I'll take that, man. I'll take it. It's yeah, been good, man. Like, it feels good to be back after a few weeks. We got all the boys. We got a full squad here, so it should be a good episode.
How do you feel being the biggest dropout?
Damn,
I
you call
feels
him out
pretty
like
good,
that?
bro. I think that joke flew over my head.
Well, I'll explain you because Salih from the Netherlands. How are you, Salih? You made a overview, a snitch overview, and Maz is the biggest snitch.
Oh yeah,
Seems like it. Yeah. He had a 50% attendance rate on the
Okay.
pod. It has increased to
Hey.
52% now since he's here today.
50% is a pass, bro. I'll take that.
Listen. To Maz's defense, you know, we've had a lot of Sunday games, and the dude has to wake up at like 5 a.m. to watch the game, and then he has work like 4 hours later, so he goes back to sleep, and then we can't do it on Monday, so it's been
Thank you.
tough for him. So
Thank you, bro.
I had to defend you. You actually have a legit excuse.
Thank you, bro. Like, it's either I choose between watching the game or joining the podcast. And I'm sorry, but I'll take watching the game any day of the week.
I don't buy it.
What do you buy, bro? What do you buy? I'm sorry.
I don't have my soundboard with me, so I have to like reenact Mazhar's. Yasin from New York, America. Thanks for that objective speech in defending Maz. How are you doing, Yasin?
I'm doing good, brother. There's a lot to talk about. We won the game versus Besiktas, so I look forward to hearing your takes on that today.
Oh, no shit. Is that why we're here?
All right.
And then our GOAT from New York, America, Emre. Emre, how are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Gone for a few weeks. I had to go take care of some business, and then now I'm back. You know,
What was that about?
Break a couple thumbs, right?
yeah, I have to handle some business. Talk to some people. Now I'm back.
So if we look at the attendance, Emre, you and John, 91% availability. Props. That's more than me, apparently. I don't know how that is, but
Me and John got it, bro. What can we say?
mashallah. All right,
Those are
guys.
Jameson.
Anyone want to throw out something, some dreams or some personal experiences you went through past weeks?
Well, 2 weeks ago, as some listeners may remember or may not, I had a feeling I was getting sick, and apparently I got COVID. Woo! Yay, first time ever. But
Nice.
yeah, but we survived. At least I did. My parents too. So far, they've been well off. For my mom, it took a bit longer, but thank God everything went well. That's pretty much all I had to share on that front.
Which is
No other
weird.
dreams, though.
Yeah, which is weird because I had COVID before, and this time I was ill for two weeks, congested, and it wasn't COVID, just the flu. But never experienced this bad of a congestion. But I'm getting better, so it's almost done.
Yeah,
no.
I see it in the environment as well, around friends, etc. Like a
Yeah.
lot of people are starting to get colds and start getting sick.
Yeah.
So take care, people, and if you can, of someone else too.
Yeah.
Be careful out there.
Take your vitamins. Drink some nice Turkish tea with some honey. Get well soon to everyone that's ill right now and listening.
Yeah, and no horse medicine or whatever. Stuff you've heard on the internet.
Yeah, I don't know what you're taking.
You know what I heard lately? That honey is an old wives' tale. Like
What?
honey doesn't actually help your throat and with congestion.
I find that hard to believe. It's helped me
too.
more times than
Right?
I can
I heard
count,
this
like-
too, but I've been taking it as well, and it helped me a lot.
We
I don't
have to
know.
do research on that. I don't
Wait,
buy
you're saying
it.
it
I don't
doesn't?
buy
It
it.
doesn't help, or
It does.
help?
They said what I heard was it's a wives' tale, old wives' tale. Like it doesn't actually help you as much
So
as
like
people
snake
think
oil
it
is
does.
just fake. Okay.
Yeah,
But
like
you know what does help? Honey, the application, our sponsor today.
no, maybe one
Oh
day.
my god, someone has watched too much YouTube.
Yeah, go to honey at the Lions Den GS and get your honey application for your free discount.
The amount of times I see that.
Yeah, it's insane. It's like they pay everyone off, right? Except
Yeah,
for us.
bro.
We need to get hooked up, man. Anyway, Yasin, you said we shouldn't bullshit too much, so why don't you take us to the game?
Listen, that's not my role though. We got the
I
whole
don't
squad
care.
here.
You
At
were
least- at least let the
complaining.
right guys do the right role, right? So
You were
John,
complaining.
if you don't mind. John, you want to take it away, bro?
Yes,
Is
I
that-
do. That's my
Proceed.
job. All right. Thank you,
Exactly, bro.
Yasin.
Gotta respect it.
Thank you. Let's go through it. So this was round 13 of the Super League, of course, at home in the derby against Besiktas. Let me go through some stats just to start us off. So in terms of possession, it was 54% for us, 46% for Besiktas, 18 shots to 12. And we actually finished the match with an XG of 2.33 as opposed to Besiktas 1.81. This one finished 2-1 for us. We did win the derby, 2 goals from Mauro Icardi, finally showing a bit of class. I'll go through the starting 11 as well. We had Muslera in goal, of course, Sasha Boy, Nelson, Abdul Kerim, Emre Tashdemir starting again, Sergio Oliveira, Lucas Torreira, Mertens, Rashica, Barish getting the start on the right wing, and Icardi up front. So pretty expected. Barish came as a surprise over Yunus, Kerem, the usual guys that have been playing there. And I thought he played pretty well. We'll get into that. But just, I guess, general thoughts on how the match started in the first half. I thought that it was, I guess it was a little bit back and forth in the first half. I thought we started okay. Besiktas were sort of attacking. We had a little bit of an edge, I think, just being at home. But thankfully, the first goal came in the 18th minute from Mauro Icardi, and I know all of you guys had your eyes open, wide open for that one. What a finish that was. Do you guys think that was our best goal of the season so far?
yes,
Best goal of
We've
the
had a
last
few
two
nice
because it
seasons,
was
goals,
against Besiktas.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
When you take that into consideration, yeah. But Gomis, I think, had a really nice one too against, I believe it was Antalyaspor.
The long shot there, yeah.
That was a really nice goal too.
This one, just for the listeners, it basically started from Rashica on the right side, who sort of looked like he was going forward and then cut back and played just a ridiculous pass,
What a winger.
far post. What a winger! You're damn right. What a winger! It was a beautiful ball there, Barish, and then Barish sort of headed it backwards, and Icardi was more or less at the penalty spot on his weak foot, first time into the roof of the net.
Yeah.
Absolute scenes. What a finish that was, man.
Did you notice, like, Borish looked like he scored himself almost?
Yeah, he was happy.
Yeah, no, he was
Yeah.
super happy. It's like, it almost like he was so happy, like, he was probably thinking, I passed it back instead of shooting it, and that's why I'm fucking happy. I did the correct thing this time. That's
Out
almost
of
how
like
it felt.
200 attempts to pass
Yeah.
to Icardi, yeah, he finally landed one.
Maybe in general, what did you guys think of the starting 11? Like, two main interesting decisions was Barış Alperen starting still Emre Tashdemir. Would you have rather seen someone else?
I
not
thought he was going
sure-
to go more safe.
I'm not sure who else to expect. Like, other than Barish, obviously there's other options. I think Emre Tashdemir is pretty much a given. I think if he like I said in the last episode as well, I don't think he's playing amazing. I don't think he's playing really bad. I think he's just playing. He's just sort of there. So he'll probably secure that spot for himself. Bardish was a surprise, but it's good that you bring that up, because I don't know if you guys noticed in the first half and for majority of the game as well, we were playing so many long passes, like just trying to play the ball behind the Besiktas back four and just trying to get the ball in behind and get some pace and trying to hurt them that way. And I think Bardish, if that was the game plan, Bardish is probably a good option for that style. But I noticed that as well. I was kind of surprised to be seeing that, but I guess that's what Okan decided to do.
I mean, speaking of surprises and Okan, I wasn't too surprised, and I think, like, I don't know about you guys, I'm starting to see a little bit of consistency from Okan and the decisions that he makes with the starting 11, and I think that's based on performance, right? So the three options that we have, apart from Rashiko, who's guaranteed to start, we have Kerem, we have Yunus, and we have Barış. Have we seen Yunus really play the last few weeks? And if we have seen him, how much of him have we seen, and how good has he played in those minutes? It was very minimal, and he didn't stand out per se. And he was also, I think, last time he subbed in, it was after Barış. So we got a little bit of a hint, a little bit of a teaser from Okan saying, look, last time I needed a winger off the bench, I chose Barış before I chose Yunus. And Barış, he did pretty well. As for Kerem has started the last two games, and both games he got subbed off minute 45. One of them was because the referee decisions, and he was the weak link in the first 45 minutes, so we had to make a decision to take him off. The last game, he got subbed off at 45 because he was just genuinely not playing well in those 45 minutes. Okan, being the coach he has, consistent coach he has, making decisions based off of performances, said, okay, if you're not going to do well in two games back to back in the 45 minutes you're given, I'm not necessarily going to give you those 40, like the next game around. And today against Besiktas, which is a much stronger team, a much more difficult team, it's not surprising to see Barış. Last week I said Barış might not be the smartest player, but he has that physical attribute where he can push off defenders. And you saw that against Besiktas too. How many times did we see him go 50-50 and he was able to shrug off the Besiktas defender, win the ball and put a cross in or make the right pass afterwards. So I was really happy with Okan's decision there. And I don't know, do you guys think he did well? Do you think he deserved it? Do you think he proved to a lot of doubters, which I did see? A lot of people were like, why the hell is Barış starting? Do you guys think he proved those fans wrong? Or, you know, Maz, what do you think about it? I am curious.
Look, I think he's getting better. I've said a few things about him in the past. I don't know if I said it on the pod, but I think he's getting better. Like you said, he does have that physical aspect, but his decision-making skills are questionable.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that. Yeah, okay. He made the pass to Icardi to assist, but I'm not quite convinced. But having said that, we don't have much of a choice either. If we're gonna bench Kerem, we need to play Barış. And being a Yerli player, being a Turkish player, there's not much else we can do. But there's one thing I didn't like, and Jan kind of touched on that, and I didn't like those lofted through balls. Those over-the-top through balls that we kept forcing from the defense towards the wings and towards the forwards. I didn't like that at all, especially in the first half. We probably did that 6 or 7, maybe more times. I lost count. And we lost possession almost every single time. And the only time it did work was when Mertens made that pass to Barış over the top. And then he had like a one-on-one and he almost scored. I think that was the only time it worked. But I really don't want to see us do those lofted through balls again, because it doesn't make sense. We have a bunch of short players. All our forwards are short. Except for, I think Barış, but Icardi is short. Mertens is short. Rashica is short. You can't expect that. And they're not like super pacey either.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with that. I think that when you play that style, it's almost expected that you're going to be losing possession, right? Like, how many times is that going to work? So I wasn't really a fan of that either. But and anyways, it's not like the goals we scored were it came from playing those over the top passes either. So I don't know. Maybe Okan thought we'd be able to hurt their backline by doing that, but it seemed like we just sort of lost possession a lot doing that. I want to bring up as well. Just 10 minutes after the goal, Besiktas, they did tie the match through Cenk Tosun, who scored. I thought it was
Beautiful
sort
goal.
of bad defense. It was beautiful, beautiful. I thought that we could have defended a little bit better on the goal. I felt it, man. I felt that they were going to tie it, and
It was
Cenk Tosun.
it was on Oliveira and Torreira, honestly. You saw them both, and in an alternate universe, in an alternate parallel universe, Oliveira would have gotten that ball, and Cenk wouldn't have gotten that ball and made a goal. But it is what it is. They weren't too close to their guy, so yeah, it is what happened. What I wanted to add in on Barış Alper, don't you guys think that Barış looks a bit like he looks like a player like Burak Yilmaz to me? He's like got the physicality, the running, and if I remember correctly, Burak Yilmaz was also a winger before he really moved towards being a striker. And
I think that's true, yeah.
I think he can be the same for us. He's still young, right? I mean, how old is Barış? 24, 25?
22, 23.
22,
even younger.
Yeah, 22,
Yeah,
22.
it's the Turkish league, man. When I say young, I have to think of 25, 26, you know?
We're making strides now.
Yeah, exactly. So I see a lot of future in him. But I still rate Yunus Akgün highly, and I think it's all about how you want to play, who you will play, and I think that's the decision that Okan Buruk is making based on how he wants to play. He puts the players there, also rewarding players that play good, like Emre Taşdemir, right? Is that you did a good job.
Whoever
here.
gives the performance, you
Exactly.
play him.
Just like Yasin mentioned, yeah.
Exactly. So we'll see. Probably, I don't know. You think he'll start next game?
Who? Barış?
Against
Yeah.
Başak?
I think
Yeah,
100%.
I would think so.
Yeah, I think.
Would only be
There's
fair.
there's no reason unless Okan's going to stop being consistent with his decisions again. Going back to what I said, there's no reason why he wouldn't start. Especially that assist that he gave. I think we really do need to give a lot of credit to that, because how often do you see a player, first of all, attempting to make that pass when he could have, Barış or anybody could have easily just been like, all right, I'm going to head this towards a goal. Let me try and be the guy that's winning the game and the goal for the team, get the fame. He laid it off. He chose to lay it off, and he laid it off perfectly. Like he knows if he's a striker, how does he want the ball? Because before Barış even headed that ball down, you saw Icardi run into that open space, because Icardi is a striker. He smells a goal, right? He knows where to be and when to be. And Barış was able to read that for him. Not a lot of wingers know where the striker wants the ball and where they want the ball. So I give a lot of credit to Barış, and that excitement that you mentioned before, Samet, where it's like he scored the goal. I'm sure he's going to look back at that and be like, I get rewarded for decisions that I make where it's not just scoring the goal. And that, whether it's a big message or a small message, that's a message to Kerem and Yunus and every other player on this team. Look, everybody's trying to win. I've seen a lot of selfish plays throughout this season where everybody's trying to score and shoot and, you know, be the guy that's like in the headlines. That's not what you need. Because look, Barış scored. I mean, Barış is not the one who scored, but in all the pictures, you see Icardi behind him hugging Barış like he's the one that scored the goal. So it's a team effort, and Barış, what he did was a perfect example of that. And I can't give endless, the right amount of credit to him that he deserves for it, honestly.
So I guess we'll see him against Başakşehir in how many days is that? In next
I
week?
think 6 days. I think 6 days.
Yeah, because in 2 days we're playing Offspor, so we'll probably see a lot of our youngsters play Turkish Cup. That'll be an interesting game to watch as well.
Let me ask you guys, what do you think Kerem has to do to get back in the starting 11? Like, I think the last 2 times we've seen him come off of the bench, he's looked pretty motivated. Like he was unlucky not to score last game as well. He hit the crossbar, but he's just looked electric the last 2 times he's come off the bench as a sub, right? So what does he have to do to get back and reclaim that spot?
Get tapes
Work
of
harder.
Okan Buruk. No, I'm just kidding.
Work harder, just show in training what he has, right? And if Okan is fair, he'll give him a fair chance at some point. But as long as Barış Alper or let's say Yunus Akgün let's say they play ahead of him, right? And they don't perform badly, then You have to just show it in training, right?
Honestly, I
Show
think
effort, commitment.
Salih, I think what happened was Barış, Yunus, and Kerem, they went to Okan Buruk's desk. They pulled out their pants.
There we go.
They put it right there in front of Okan Buruk. And they said, who are you going to play? Apparently, Barış had
Longest
the
one
biggest.
plays.
Yeah, apparently that's what
Oh my
happened.
Who do you think has the smallest then, Samet?
Probably
Yunus.
Yunus because he wasn't
Has to
even
be
subbed in.
Oh my god.
I don't know.
When
you know
someone
more about
said
dicks, bro.
this is what happened, I knew this was gonna be a dick story again.
No
know-
soundboard, so back to dick stories.
What
Let's go.
was it when Emre got caught? One of these stories, and he was like, "I like it" or something like that. I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Me neither.
But yeah, all in all, a good first half with one goal, and then
The thing is, though,
go
if I
ahead.
may intervene, the goal that Besiktas scored, right? They got a foul, but do you guys think that was actually fairly done? Because I feel like Bowie was up against Nkuru a lot, and the way how Nkuru, I think he just won the foul, honestly, for that free kick, or is it just me?
They were constantly doing that all game because, you know, Besiktas is a team that thrives off of set plays. They are always looking for it. So I think they're like constantly, even with Jetson, who played out of his mind, was constantly looking for the foul outside the box nonstop. But so, yeah, I think you're right. He was looking for the foul and Kudu.
It was really, yeah, what should I say, infuriating me. The first half, just constantly, every Besiktas player you just like even touch, they all fall down pretty easily. And that's how they, honestly, that's how they just got the first goal, in my opinion. It was just a one foul from Nkuru on Bowie.
Mm.
Yep. And then they made us pay from off of that free kick, and that's how they scored the first goal. But
Honestly, it looked like a foul to me. I didn't have anything there.
Me too.
I knew Yasin was gonna back me
Oh,
up.
Feneli Samet.
Nah, it looks
Samet
I was
showing
waiting
his
to see
true
if anybody
colours
else
now.
would say something.
Nah, I knew it was Yasin was silently waiting behind, like waiting for his opportunity.
He laid the trap out and Yasin took it.
It was
Yes,
a
this is
foul,
my
bro.
moment.
It was very hard, and hey, you got to do what you got to do. A boy has been solid. He's been like really on to Nkudu. I was surprised why Şenol Filosof didn't change up Nkudu to play on the other side, because Emre Taşdemir is a lot easier for someone like Nkudu than Sasha Boye, because Sasha really handled Nkudu, showed him all sides of his pocket. And
Yes.
I was surprised.
I was thinking
Yeah.
I was thinking the same. I had the same thought during the match as well, because that's a battle there on that side, man, between the two. I think Sasha won the battle like he almost always does.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would have been a bad mismatch. Like Nkodu against Emre Taşdemir would have, yeah, I'm not sure how that would have worked out. But anyways, he's getting too old, man. Şenol, he doesn't have these thoughts anymore.
Also glad that we did get Bowie back because it was supposed to miss this game, right? Together with Abdülkerim, but they reverted that. So we both had him luckily in, because God knows. I mean, not that Dubois is bad or anything, but Bowie is on another level. So glad we have him
Yeah.
for this game. Also, what did help before we went on to the second half is, some player that 2 years ago, for some reason, wasn't able to get yellow carded, Rosier, got injured.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
in for him came Tayfur Bingöl.
Oh. Yes.
When I saw that, I was like, okay, this should be our prime time to finally start pounding even harder in the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Tayfur Bingöl was a transfer on the radar for Besiktas, Fenerbahce. They really did their best to get him as well, especially with the Turkish quota. Like you said, Salih, once Rosier got injured, he was subbed off. I was like, yes, that's exactly what we need, because he can be a threat and he can be nasty as well. So I was really happy with that. Then Tayfur came on. I think in the second half, he later had an incident with one of our ball boys as well. I don't know, what did you guys think about it? Because after the game, he had the post-game interview. He was complaining about being Besiktaslı, being professional, and that the ball boys should just give the ball. And I was like, shut the fuck up, bitch.
Yeah, but he just pushed a little kid. Like, I've never seen
Yeah,
such a
like-
thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a 30-year-old man that just pushed a little kid. Like,
Yeah. You don't know what it means to be professional. Is all I could think of.
Yeah.
We don't call them Ezik for no reason, Samet. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Maybe with that we can just get into the second half then. And again, just like the first half, there was a fairly early goal. This one came in the 59th minute. Again, Mauro Icardi with the assist from Sergio Oliveira. Sergio played a beautiful ball in, and Icardi had just a perfect header into the side of the net and froze Mert as well. Beautiful finish. That made it 2-1. And it sort of, from there, I honestly thought the floodgates were going to open. I thought we were going to be able to put 2-3 more in. Mm-hmm. Like it literally, it felt that way. But again, just like last match and the match before, little bit of goal scoring issues. And even Okan said at the end of the match, this one probably could have finished like 6-1, 6-2, 7-2, something like that. But that was it. Icardi missed another amazing chance at the second post from a ball that Mertens played in. He hit the post. Kerem hit the post. There was a chance in front of the net where it was like a loose ball, and both Sergio and Lucas Torreira were both after the same ball and got sort of mixed up. Yeah. That was a good chance. So we could have scored a ton of goals. It was just the two, unfortunately, but hopefully that we can change that in the coming matches and start scoring more. It's going to be tough against Başakşehir as well.
Yeah, all in all, I felt like the second half was much more positive, except for maybe the end. The end was a bit nervy when Besiktas started to have more of the ball, started pounding us more. But yeah, all in all, I was pretty happy with the second half. We were lucky again with another injury on Besiktas' side, Umut Meraş. He also had to be subbed off, and for him came in Necip Uysal, which was another from a moment for me where we're like, okay, we gotta push even more now because Necip Uysal is just not good, right? The thing what I do think though is, yes, we were good, but also Besiktas, I don't know, under this Şenol Güneş, this game, I found them actually pretty bad as well. I don't know if you guys had that.
Yeah, worse than normal. No high octane football.
Yes, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because they played two like classical strikers in Weghorst and Cenk Tosun. Second half they added Muleka too. It felt a bit, I don't know, static.
Yeah, they were not threatening at all. Like there was really no point in the match where I felt, the pressure was overwhelming or even that they were going to score. Like I mentioned before, when we went up 1-0, I kind of had a feeling they would be able to equalize, but yeah, they weren't threatening at all. So anyways, I think they just hit the panic button and had to bring back Şenol Güneş. I think they're going to see, some repercussions for doing that. I think they're going to have a miserable season.
Super dumb ass decision, honestly.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to mention as well, I mentioned that Sergio had got the assist on the second Icardi goal. And I wanted to ask everyone, what do you guys think about how he was this match and how he's been just overall this season? I think we might be split down the middle here, but what do you guys think about him just overall?
Go ahead, Yasin.
You guys know I'm not a big proprietor of Sergio Oliveira. I just think he loses way too many balls. I think he doesn't make the passes that I expect him to make for the amount of money we're paying for him. One thing I'll say that this game, he didn't make as many losses with the ball. He did do the one assist that I constantly want to see him make is the one he made to Icardi. That is the ball that I want to see him throw in the box. And I don't see that from him. Yeah, either he passes back to the side and he just wants to be the guy in the box, not throwing the ball into the box. Because I always see him wanting to be part of the attacking force, not supply the attacking force. And that irritates me to no end. That was my biggest issue with Oliveira.
This game, I think he's been very good in defensive-wise as well.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. He's been solid. This game, he's been solid.
Exactly.
He did and Emre, a couple of times.
If he hit scored those 6 goals that hit the post of his, then we would be talking really differently.
Yes, yeah, we would.
I mean, okay, yes, that's true, but not everything is off.
Ifs.
Yeah, what ifs? Those are not going to be guaranteed. You have a better chance of supplying good pass to your teammate that will get you a good chance. a higher,
which he
percentage goal.
tries constantly. And I think
He
the
tries.
issue with Oliveira
It's
is
not consistent. That's the problem.
he has a lot on his shoulders in the midfield. He has to be the connecting person. He has to be that attacking person, add in that creativity, and at the same time help out Torreira. And it's a lot to ask from him, honestly. And Torreira, maybe he's a bit too defensive to play him together with Oliveira. At the moment, it's working, and Oliveira has his good games. But one thing I said, I thought, like, when Torreira was out, I was like, okay, now Oliveira can shine when Micho came in. Because I think that gives Oliveira a bit more freedom up forward instead of helping the defensive section a bit more. But yeah, we just have to see how the season goes. It's still too early to rate him really good or really bad. So far, he's been solid, if you ask me.
I don't think he's the worst player on our team. That's
Who do you think is the
that's
worst player?
Oh man, I don't know. I don't really think we have like bad
Kerim.
players. We just have out of form players. Like Kerem, I would say.
No, not
Kerem
Kerem. I said
Yunus.
Abdul Kerim.
Abdul Kerem? No, I think he's solid. What do you mean? Abdul Kerem.
Last game, I think he got caught out of position way too many times. And Sasha Boy kept covering him, but especially in the second half, in the early minutes of the second half, he got caught like twice, and it really pissed me off because he was making the same mistakes in the first half. And Sasha Boy is covering him every single time. And he's lucky.
I think that's one of his.
He was there.
Yeah, that's one of his bad games. But how many bad games did Kerem?
Oh no,
have? How
I'm
many
saying,
bad
I'm
games
saying,
did Mitchell
I'm saying for the Besiktas game, he was our only bad player in my opinion.
Oh no, I think Samet was saying on average, like throughout the season so far. Yeah, I would say one of the wingers.
Yeah, so far there's really no one that jumps out when you think of the whole
I'm also-
team in general.
Exactly. I'm also thinking really hard, but I can't name one player. Like normally it would be like, I don't know, Ryan Babel or Emre
Yeah,
Bayram.
yeah,
But right now
yeah.
there's like no one that I can really point my finger towards.
Which is a good
that I
thing,
say,
right? Yeah.
You suck, just get out of here. Nah, that's a good thing. It is a good thing.
What about you,
Yeah.
Yasin? Which is the worst or the best player? Don't say Arda Güler, please.
I mean, I agree with the thought that we don't really have a terribly bad player, but I think if we were to pick anybody, Seferovic has been disappointing for what we thought he would bring to the team.
Rock
we thought
solid in the friendlies.
in the friendlies,
Yeah.
right? Exactly.
Like Akbaba.
Yeah.
I would have hoped that, I don't feel terribly comfortable where, God forbid, something happens to Icardi and he has to miss a game because of injury or whatever, where either Gomes or Fedovic can start the game and I'll be like, okay, that's fine. He might not be able to replicate Icardi, but he can still put a good performance. I don't feel that way. Gomes is an excellent striker later in the game because he has very limited energy. And Seferovic is a very, I don't know, it doesn't give me confidence. Do I believe optimistically as a fan that he still can provide something on his day because he's known to be, hot and cold, on and off, inconsistent? Sure. But it doesn't give me a lot of confidence. And I was under the impression when we got him that he would be better than what we've seen so far. So if I really had to pick somebody, I guess I would pick him.
Mhm.
Otherwise, everybody else is, doing a good job. The competition is at a high level between the team, and it's nothing but good vibes either. There's nothing like, somebody does bad and then we just like lose them. Like often you see in Turkish Super League, or even, if you just look at our own club year over year, there's always like one or two players that not only are bad, but, there's always one or two guys that just fall off like the face of the earth. Like what happened to them? Like they had one bad game and they're gone. Or they've just been lost, and like whenever you put them in, they look like they belong in like the U19s.
Yeah.
Nobody's like that. You would have maybe thought Emre Taşdemir would be that guy. Nope.
There's one
Opposite.
guy that comes to mind when you say all of that, Yasin. I'm sorry, guys.
He's going to
for
say
the-
Berkan.
No, for the guys that are in here, two in particular, I'm sorry, but Patrick Van Aanholt. I'm sorry, but for all those things you just said, Yasin,
Right.
he comes to mind.
No, nah. You're not. It's my homie. You're not gonna go like that on my Dutchies.
I mean, I don't even think he gets included in the squad anymore, which is like, I don't know. That's so weird. Like he was that guy playing against Barca, and like, I don't know, man. It's weird. It's strange.
Also,
It's
the
strange,
picture
but it's not
that,
surprising, is it?
No,
Sorry,
it's
Salih,
mainly
what
the
were you gonna
foreign
say?
limit.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's the
Like,
foreign limit. Yeah.
there's,
Honestly,
there's only so much you can do. Even Yusuf is being excluded from the team, and there's rumors where I don't know, I don't believe it, but they're saying, oh, he's injured, he can't play. But I don't believe that. I think
because he's a
he genuinely
Karadeniz,
just doesn't.
just like me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just this yabancı kural, and the way that we've brought in so many foreigners, it's kind of like tough. But even with that said, it's like people seem to have a good vibe, and that's a good thing to see. Even with all these handicaps that we have, whether it's at our own fault or TFF and the rules, like we've been handling most things very positively from what I've seen, and I really like that. And I would probably credit that to Okan Buruk because he's the guy that's in charge of all of it. So I think he's handling a lot of hot potatoes pretty well for the situation that we have. So
I don't know.
credit
I
to
don't
him.
know. I haven't been in the locker room with him, so I don't know. But yeah, so far so good. And we need to be better. If we want to be champions, we need to be better. It wasn't super convincing to me. And honestly, I don't know. I have a special place in my heart for Yunus, so I would have played Yunus instead of Barish. Is also
This man is going off
Yunus
vibes
like
on
what?
me.
Is Yunus 1% Dutch? Did I miss something that Samet just keeps praising the shit out of Yunus?
he's a
when
Sivas
it's-
boy, just like me.
Oh my god.
Oh,
But he's
my
not.
God.
No,
He's not though,
It's
is he?
the favoritisms here, man.
No, he's not. I just like his style. And
No, I agree. I'm just joking. He's
Just-
very good.
he's
I'm a
super
huge
good.
fan, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Samet, if I
But-
may ask though,
yeah.
so what would you have liked to see then? You said that you were not really convinced by the performance as much. Like to me, I
Dominance,
think
bro.
it's a very
Dominance.
very big result.
We went to the game with Torrent 2-1, also the same score when we won in Nef Stadium, and we were just much more dominant than today. I felt like we weren't dominant enough with playing the ball around in the midfield. It's like what 54% ball possession against Besiktas. That should be 60 at least at home.
Your definition of dominance is different than most other people's definition of dominance, though.
And
Like some
also-
people like want more, chances created. Like yeah, okay, we had less possession, but what did we do with our possession versus their possession?
What I'm disappointed at, Emre, is the goals we made were not directly from our own ball possession. It was forcing Besiktas out of position, stealing the ball, and then in the transfer toward attack is where we got the goals. And I'd like to see that we have been holding the ball, having that dominance, and then making an open play, wide ass things, and then scoring from. We did that a few times, but it's not working all the time. And I didn't see this game that we did that.
You're not gonna see that.
Okay. That's
You're not gonna
completely
see
okay,
that.
bro.
Yeah, I think against Besiktas that is okay. And they're not an easy team. Yes, Salih pointed out some handicaps that they had, which was a huge advantage to us. Both their left back and right back, very good players were out today. That's huge for us. And they were missing Rashi Gazal, which is their most creative player. He's very important in their attack, and he was missing too. So we had these advantages. But to just quickly comment on your possession type attack, I too critique that, but Besiktas is still not an easy team to do that against, and we still do that. We just happen to not score from those specific possessions and attacks
That's
that
what
we
I want.
created. Like, yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I want us to score on those opportunities too. Today or yesterday, we happened to not score from that. Yesterday, we happened to score from mistakes that we created by pressuring. That's going to happen too. Fenerbahce, they score a shit ton of goals, and you think they're scoring all those goals because they're fucking Manchester City in the attack and they have Pep Guardiola in their, as their head coach? No.
I don't know.
It's
I don't
because
watch Fenerbahce, bro.
You should, so you get a vibe for how Galatasaray compares to its competitors, but that's a different story. My point is, they score a lot of goals because of the pressure that they put as a team, and that is part of a tactic, whether you do that 90 minutes a game or 20 minutes a game. And that's good. That it's nice to see that we can create chances from nothing just because we put a lot of pressure. You can call these goals on Besiktas and their stupidity for making the mistakes, okay. But it's not like we had zero chances from our own created attacks either. So I think that's a little bit harsh of a criticism.
I'm
I'll
not
let
saying
you guys.
like we were bad. I'm just saying not good enough for me to be champions. I need to see more.
Yeah, I have a lot of other critiques too, which I want to get to. But I think, was it Maz? Somebody wanted to say something on that as well.
I only want to say towards Samet, like, how hard are you to please, man? We won 2-1. Like, what else do you want? You really want us to... I get what you're saying, but on the other hand, it is still a big game. Like, these games are just played differently. Against smaller opposition, sure, your critique is fair, but I think like in these type of games, I'll take any type of win. Like, even if we have like, I don't know, 10% ball possession and we win 1-0, I don't care as long as we win and get the points. That's what matters, and that's how we become champions.
Bro,
So-
if Okan was 1% Dutch, Samet would defend him to the end of time, bro.
Well, yeah,
I
that's
swear.
that's a given, bro. Obviously. But what Samet is saying is like I understand like
Yeah.
because when you think about it, like Okan himself after the match said this one probably should have ended 6-1, 6-2, 7-2, something like that. And it, honestly, it could have finished with us scoring 5, 6, 7 goals. But when you say that to someone, we could have scored 5, 6, 7 goals. That kind of gives them the impression that you were dominating the match, right? But it didn't feel like that to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like it didn't feel like we were fully dominating it. It's just that when we did get the ball, I guess we were pretty, effective. We got in decent positions where we could have scored.
And
But-
if Okan Buruk, if we told Okan Buruk this, and he said, "Yeah, that's right. That wasn't my plan. My plan was to force them out of these positions and get the goals. That's what we worked on." Then I'd be like, "Respect. Okay, that was his tactic, and it worked."
Right.
I'd be like, "Okay, awesome."
Right.
But I don't trust yet. Like Okan really had that tactic in mind, especially
Why not?
especially if we look at, I think in the stats you see the average positions of the players. We had no wingers, bro. It looked like a dick.
Yes.
Average, yeah.
But that's also... you saw that in the game too, right?
Oh, you're
Like,
happy.
Like, Barış on the left, if I remember correctly, and Milot on the right, but they switched like around minute 30 from wings. Milot moved to the left, and then Barış moved to the right, or vice versa. I can't recall 100%.
Badic started on the right.
It did, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
And
he
then
moved to
they
the
switched.
left. So
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
why it looked like they were very central. While essentially, I think actually they did play relatively wide, like wider than normal, because they're both not as inverted, but they switched around at halftime, basically.
Okay.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
And also, you say that, okay, his tactics, or you're not 100% convinced, but, who cares about the words? Let the football and the points do the talking. We're the second in the table right now. We have 24 points. We're 2 points behind, the fantastic Fenerbahce, who scored for fun. So I think
Yeah.
we should just take it. Like, what else could we have asked for? I know what you guys are saying by we only score like 2 goals per match at most. But, it takes time,
Yeah.
basically. That's all I have to say.
Like, and with all of that said, that's entirely correct. I couldn't give a shit how we won this match. We had to
Of
win.
course,
Like, this
3
was
points.
this was a must-win match. So,
For
and
sure.
we got it done. So, of
Important
course,
3 points in the race
Yeah.
towards the championships, for sure. Of course.
yes,
Just
Yeah.
You guys
saying,
noticed.
ideally.
Go ahead, Samet.
Yeah, go ahead, Emre.
I was just gonna say, you guys have noticed, right, that Okan Buruk has not lost a single big match this season yet. Like, he prepares really, really well for these matches.
Trabzon, we should have copped that one, man.
But what I'm saying is, He's-
yeah.
he's preparing really well for these games. And what big match did we ever come out below? I think it was just Konyaspor. We were kind of bad, but we still won that. Like, we were always playing teams at the top level, right? Adana, Gaziantep, Trabzon, you name it, Besiktas, and we're playing way better than them at most times. So I think it really is like his choice of tactics that is putting us, like you're saying, you're not seeing, you're not confident that it's that, but I think it is. And I've always said this, Okan Buruk is not a systems type coach. He's not going to be like Klopp. He's not going to be Guardiola. He's not going to have
He's
a
pragmatic.
philosophy. He he plays accordingly to his opposition. That's the difference. I think that's why you might not be convinced.
Yeah,
'cause-
that's what I don't like. I like
Yep.
and
fixed.
fair enough.
Yeah.
And I've said this before, man. You're not going to see a system from him. And I don't know when it was, but I also said we're not going to be winning by huge margins. That's never Okan Buruk's IO. You know what I mean? Or I'm sorry, MO. He's not going to be winning by 5-0, 6-0 games. Even at Başakşehir, he was not doing this.
Yeah, maybe in cups.
Maybe, yeah.
We had that last cup game, right? Maybe one more interesting point in the second half where it was, I think, towards the end when Besiktas got a final free kick and Torreira decided to drop himself, extend the time, and then I think, was it Sergio before that even dropping himself, and
Literally everyone
almost. What did
Yeah.
you guys think of that? Like, I don't know.
I'm not a fan of it. I don't like it at all. Actually, it really frustrated me. And, a lot of fans had the nerve to really complain about, including myself. I was heated in the moment, but like the fact that the ref didn't finish the game at the 92nd minute mark, like exactly, like it's not that surprising. We were like, I'm not a fan of it. Again, I say it very clearly. I'm not a fan of it. We're trying to waste time. And this is a game that you can argue we dominated with, positions and opportunities to score. But if you watch the last 10, 15 minutes, it was just nothing but panic ball. And we were just completely not disciplined either. So maybe this is a change to critiques of the game because there's a lot to talk about. But one of them was how we played and our discipline. There was this one position, I sent a screenshot to the chat. I don't know if you guys saw it. They played the ball in, and there's like 6 or 7 Besiktas players on the edge of the 18 waiting for the ball to come in. Besiktas has possession, by the way. And there's like only 3 Galatasaray players / defenders trying to defend against 7 or 8 Besiktas players in minute 85 of the game when they already had that attack momentum going for them. How is that in any way acceptable? I get it. Like, you shouldn't just sit back and defend for your life and kick the ball out, but there needs to be some sort of discipline. And I find myself kind of questioning our discipline week over week in many different ways. Can you imagine they scored that? That's the position that Weghorst had, that volley that went over the crossbar. Do you guys?
Yes, I just had this in my mind, seeing you in the New York subway, questioning, contemplating week after week. Why? But
No, I
you're
agree
not
with
on the
Yasin.
subway. You're in the
No,
Tesla.
All right. Anyways,
Yasin, I agree with you, bro.
Wait, let me just finish. That's the position that Weghorst has, right? Do you guys remember it? He was on the right side.
Sent it over.
One-on-one with basically Muslera. A good striker, or Weghorst specifically,
Yeah, I
scores
should've caught
that
that one.
4 out of 5 times.
Mm.
That is way too close for comfort. If that game finished 2-2 because of that moment of not having discipline, I would have been furious, and that would have put pressure on Okan. People would have been like, Okan Buruk should be out. These small little things make the biggest difference in how people react and the decisions that are made. And I don't think I'm putting the blame on the team and Okan here. You just need to be more disciplined there. You need to make sure you have control of the ball. And if a good team like Besiktas does happen to have control of the ball because they're going, they're risking it all. They're putting ultra attack on like you do in FIFA when you're trying to get a goal. If that's what they're doing, you kind of have to adjust to that. And that just made me upset. And, I don't know if you guys have anything else to say about that, but I also want to discuss subs afterwards because I think that's related as well.
If I can chime in, I have a different opinion. I have a wildly different opinion.
Prepare yourself.
So we have to think about this as well. When you get to a certain stage in the match, especially in a big match like this, you're going to be trying to kill off the match, right? And you can do that in a million different ways. And if we remember the 2 games ago against Alanya, where Kerem lost the ball and they tied it in the 94th minute or whatever, right? That was a prime example of not killing off the match. When they had to do was play the short corner, keep the ball in the corner, just frustrate them. They're going to either foul you or kick the ball out, and bang, the game is done, right? And this is another way, as it's kind of a scumbag tactic, of course, but it's also another way to kill off the match. Like they're in a prime position to score. Like, it's a good scoring chance on this free kick. and you have like 4 players that are going down. Like just when they think they're about to take the free kick, one player drops and they're like, holy fuck. Then they set up again. Okay, guys, let's do it. We're about to do it again. Another player drops. And then it's how you build frustration in players, right? And look at their striker. Look at the chance he had that he sent over. Probably just pure frustration, right? And you force them to make mistakes. Like, and obviously, again, if they would have scored on that, then we would have said, fuck, like, what are we doing? Like, fucking around like this, right? But
You could tell they got frustrated. The tie for bingo, like right there, you saw him get frustrated.
Pushing a little kid, right? It's just, there's so many mind games to be played in football, and that's one of them. And it's just drawing out frustration from the opponent and making them lose their composure. Like, he lost all composure in front of the net. He had almost a 100%, chance right there, and he sent it over, right? Like, even Chanel, everyone on the bench were holding their heads, but that's just how it goes sometimes. That's what happens. So there's 2 ways to look at it,
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Speaking of Chanel, you guys see how he got hit by the ball?
Yes.
Immediately, all those memes came up in my head where
That's
he's
also the
lying.
first thing I thought of.
Yeah, that was fantastic, bro.
But I don't recall where that meme came from. Like, how did we get images from
That
him lying in a chair?
That was from the Fenerbahce game, dude. You
Yeah.
don't remember
They
that game?
threw like, I don't know,
They threw
lighter
some
or
shit on the
something.
pitch.
Yeah, on his it
They-
landed on his head basically.
They
They got, like,
photoshopped his head.
stitches.
Yeah. It's funny, but this game it looked like it hit his armpits, but he held his face. It's like almost
wait,
gonna cry to the ref.
Emre, did you by the way say they photoshopped it?
Nah.
They photoshopped this. No. They photoshopped the stitches on his head
Okay.
when the cut.
Yeah.
They try to make it seem worse than it actually was.
Yeah,
Mm.
okay.
Well, yeah, subs. You were saying, Yasin. Before starting, Emin Bayram, I rate him so highly, and I keep hearing everyone saying he's not enough. But I truly believe he can straight up replace Abdülkerim Bayrakçı, even Nelson. I don't think it would matter.
Don't know about that. That last one.
That's another
Nelson a
wild
bit
take,
less, but Abdülkerim, yeah.
Not yet. I think it's
Also,
too
that's
early.
and not too much pressure on a young kid, especially in Turkey.
can't-
I think that's suicidal. If he does
I'm
bad.
betting he doesn't feel like that at all. He's been having some insane minutes at Boluspor. Whenever he's needed, he's there for Gala as well. I feel he's very mature in the way he's footballing, and I think he doesn't care about whatever risks is coming by playing.
I mean,
I agree.
I understand your opinion as last year with the tier list as well, that you were saying that Yunus is S tier, but
he's still
playing for
S tier,
Adana
and
or playing for Bol is again not the same as playing for Galatasaray.
don't be
in my
such a
opinion.
fucking belly dancer. You guys were like the first weeks of the Super League. You guys were, oh yeah, Yunus is S tier, man, and now you're going back to that. Jesus.
I was never one of those, but
I didn't say that.
We
No,
didn't
rate him as high as you
no,
did.
No. I always rated Yunus, and I still do. I laugh at the random comments or like you just bring up today, like, oh, Yunus should be starting. Like, he hasn't really done. He's not in form. He's a great player, and I still think he's better than both Kerem and Barış combined on his day. But he hasn't been on his day, and that's the reality of the situation. And if he's on his day, he shouldn't start. Under Fatih Terim, maybe he will start because Fatih Terim doesn't believe in justice in his lineups. But
Oh, come on.
Here we go again.
here we go.
so
He doesn't
I had
believe
to
in
have fun with
justice.
it. Yo, Samet's trolling around. I'm gonna troll around too. Okay. Anyways, back to I think there's a lot to be spoken about. So I want to quickly comment on Emin Bayram before we talk about the other subs too. Emin Bayram, he's fantastic in a lot of ways so far. And I agree with Samet's response to you, Salih, where he said he's been disciplined and very professional. And he has like some sneaky positive traits about him. Number one, he likes to get up and like get near the goal when we're looking for a goal. Not a lot of defenders are like that. How many chances has he had over the last few weeks in very few minutes to score a goal? He just couldn't finish. I mean, he had a header opportunity. He had that one goal opportunity versus, I think it was Alanya when we had the 2 red cards where John got so mad in the podcast that he didn't finish, rightfully so. But he's in those opportunities and he knows how to jump. Like, do you guys, is it just me or is this kid like jumping way higher than I would expect him to jump? Like
Ronaldo heights,
winning.
bruh.
dude, he is climbing over like other players. Like he's getting head and shoulders above them, and that's just so impressive. That's what you want from your center back. We've had issues in the past where our center backs are just not big enough, or they're not winning in the air. And in a very small team, it's even worse right now. Our situation, I think Besiktas probably averaged a whole like foot above our players in our 11. But I want to give him that credit. But my criticism with him, and it seems like it's becoming a consistent thing, every time he plays, there's like one opportunity or one thing that he just really severely messes up, and it turns into almost a goal threat. Whether that's near the goal and Muslera or at the 50-yard line, at the halfway mark. Like, I think there was this one position where Rashica gave him the ball back. Rashica, I keep saying his name wrong, I apologize, but he gave the ball to Emin Bayram, and Emin Bayram like kicked the ball out and almost lost it. And Besiktas got possession of it, and they started attacking because of it in like minute 85. Do you guys remember that? I don't know.
Yeah,
But
diamond in the making. Rough edges.
rough edges, but it's definitely criticism that we should not overlook. I'll be on the lookout to see if he can improve on that. Otherwise, he's a great player. Yeah.
Abdulkarim had
For
that
his
as well.
age.
First few games, he was reckless in a few positions. But
That's true, yeah.
so
Yeah,
that's
every
true.
defender is gonna have those.
Yeah.
And also Abdul Karim is almost 10 years older than Emin.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that makes a huge difference. But we'll see what happens with Emin, but I don't want to write him off just yet.
And behind
I
him,
think-
Of course
even
not, he's
John
19.
Metehan Baltacı,
Yeah,
also
yeah.
rock solid. If you ask me, both.
Yeah.
There's a few guys, they could really make something of themselves, honestly. If they're given the chances and they take their chances and perform well, then I mean, Emin himself, he's just 19. So
Oh
when
my
he
God.
starts reaching those levels where he's 22, 23, 24, it could be a different story. We'll see what happens. I definitely think he has the potential to get there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think Yasin wants to talk about the subs. I think what he also wants to talk about is how we went for more defensive options, right? Like we
Yeah,
subbed out
yeah.
Mertens for Berkan. We brought in Mitchell. Kerem for Barış felt like for like, right? I don't think
Yeah.
that was
Mhm.
really formation or game changing. But yeah, so what did you guys think of the defensive sub? Basically, we
I
brought
don't
in
agree.
Berkan for
I don't agree it was defensive subs. Because Leo Dubois came for Emre Taşdemir, right? At the minute 80. And Berkan came in for Mertens, right? That might sound like that, but in reality, okay, Emre Taşdemir over and then Leo Dubois, okay, that's fine, one-on-one, no big change there. Berkan for Mertens sounds like a defensive sub, but in reality, what we saw is Oliveira going more upward and Berkan taking a bit more of that defensive responsibility. So Oli could do more in the attacking like Mertens. And then we got Mitchell afterwards, right? So I think it was very balanced in terms of subs. Not defensive like last game where we really tried to hold the 2-0 and then get fucked over. But yeah.
Do you guys think
I
they
think-
came too late? They started coming in the 81st minute.
I think Kerem came in just in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kadem came in the 64th minute, and then all the other subs came in the 81st minute, and then in stoppage time. And in the 90th minute, Midshaw and Emin came in. So it was left pretty late, but I don't know. I could see reasons for Okan doing that, but did you guys feel it was a bit too late?
I think it was all right.
It could have been a little bit earlier. I think I did expect it. Like, I just recall some of my feelings like at the beginning of the second half and the first 10, 15 minutes of it. It was just like, okay, we kind of need some change going on. We have the lead, but that's not going to stop Besiktas from coming. And the players that we did have on the field, they didn't look too convincing overall. I just want to reply to Samet real quick on the changes that we made and it feeling pretty balanced. Yes, you kind of have a point at a high level, but when you take out Sergio from like that two-player midfield, the deeper midfield, and you put him Berkan, it kind of feels like for like, but if you compare their attributes and
Sergio
how
got
they
out
play,
at 19th minute for Micho. That's a defensive move.
No, but even like having Sergio as your number 8 versus having Berkan as your number 8, there's a huge difference. because Sergio is a much more composed player who knows how to control the game and the pace of it. Whereas Bergkan, as much as I praise him, that's not something that he's exactly known for. And it felt a little bit riskier. And at the same time, yes, Sergio is an attacking player, so it felt like for like in the number 10 role. But Sergio's tired. You know, it's not like Sergio just got subbed on and then he took the number 10 role. You took a very tired number 8 and you put him at number 10. And it's like, okay, naturally he has those abilities to do something in the attack, but he's tired. So you're not going to get the same performance. Whereas if you had like a Mata at number 10, he's going to be active and he's going to be able to make those passes and see the field a little bit better, in my opinion, than a very tired Sergio. And we've talked about it many times in the past. Sergio might have that attacking ability, but his ability to like actually make that pass accurately is a way lower percentage than it is compared to Icardi, or I mean not Icardi, Mertens or Mata.
So you'd rather have seen Mertens out for Mata and then Oliveira for Bergkamp?
I would have liked to see Mata come on, and if you're gonna take out, I mean, I think that's where I come down to, right? I would have wanted to see a threatening number 10 somehow, some way. You can do whatever you want with the 2 at 8 and 6, but you should have an attacking threat, because way too many times have we seen Galatasaray and other teams in this league, they turn defensive, and because we turn defensive, we let up a goal when we're trying to do the opposite. You can't concede to what the other team's trying to do when you're a big team like Galatasaray at home, is how I kind of assess the criticism and the subs. But
yeah, it's fair. Fair.
yeah.
Not much else to add.
What did you guys think of Kerem? I don't know. When he came in, I saw a completely different Kerem, like a Kerem that was confident on the ball. He was taking on like 2-3 players at once. I'm like, this is the Kerem I wanted to see. Black shorts Kerem, I think, is the move, man.
Yeah. He looked like a star. Honestly, he looked like he was pulling those FIFA tricks.
Great, exactly. He looked amazing. This is the Kerem we were waiting for all season, and we're starting to see glimpses of that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I want to see same from Yunus as well.
Yep,
Hopefully soon.
yep.
They can both do it for sure. They are very
Especially
capable
Yunus.
players.
Yunus is more capable of doing those things than Kerem.
The difference I will say between the two, skills aside, is how they react as players and personalities. It's almost not surprising, because Kerem has always been that player that has to like prove himself.
Yeah.
And not just at Galatasaray, but his entire life. You know, I don't know if you guys have listened to his interviews and his prior experiences before Galatasaray. This kid almost quit football because the teams and coaches that he's worked with at the smaller teams, or even Başakşehir, they just didn't believe in him. He's like, we tried everything. My dad told me that maybe I should stop playing or something like that. I don't remember the details of it. But this kid's trying to prove something. He's your classic from nothing player. You know, he came from the ranks of the rags to riches. And because he has that mentality, I think he thrives off that position of trying to prove himself. And right now, that's what we have. We have a Kerem who has not performed to expectations. He's sitting on the bench. He's losing minutes. And now he comes on and he is a different animal every time he comes on. I'm not here to say that he should be a sub player like Gomes is, but clearly it has had a positive effect for him. And, I hope he can convert that into a more mature Kerem where he can play like that minute one and not be affected by outside factors, But it's been really good for him. I really like that.
Yeah, there's no shame in being subbed in, rested for a couple of games to get your mental thoughts together, because Kerem really needed that. You could tell he stated himself his mental state wasn't good.
Yep.
Right? Reading Instagram comments and whatnot. So this is like, I think Okan Buruk is doing a good job mitigating all that pressure off of him. So,
yep, for sure.
Yeah.
Before we close off, maybe can we talk one last person? Muslera.
The GOAT? The real
How can we
GOAT?
forget?
Yeah. Where would we be without him? I mean, especially when I think about Cenk Tosun's shot, which was a hell of a shot, by the way, went completely towards the correct direction, but Muslera saving it, of course. It's just been an amazing goalie for Gala, and he had his rough patches for sure, but quality stays quality no matter what. Imagine having to play. Oh my God, what goalies did we had before when he was? Oh, no, please don't. No, even worse, the other guy who went to. What's his name? I even forgot his name. That's how
Sinan
bad he is. No. The
Fatih
I didn't
Öztürk.
either.
Fatih Öztürk. My God.
Oh my god.
What a scammer, bro. Yeah, no, Muslera, man, such a great person, great game.
No, honestly, like he's 36 now. He has to
wow.
be. He has to be our best transfer ever. He has to be.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Honestly,
After
Top three.
Hajji?
Top three.
After
easily,
Hajib,
yeah.
definitely.
I mean, for me, like he has to be the. You asked where would we be without him? We would be nothing. We would be nothing.
He won league titles single-handedly. If you look back in history,
Yes.
Worked many times.
that
Yeah.
2014, 2015 season, I remember very clearly.
Yeah. And it's so interesting in football. Like these keepers that get to, 38, 39, approaching 40, they're so good. It's a position in football that just they age like wine, and that's what's happening with Muslera as well. He's just so good, man. What a save. That Cenk Tosun was about to score a world-class goal on us.
yeah,
And of
For
course,
real, man.
Muslera
Tied
just
the game,
denied him.
too.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. So there's not we're at a point now where there's not really much more we can say about Muslera. Like,
honestly, in the beginning of the season, people were doubting if we should play him or Okan. And we
Yeah,
talked about
They
this.
always do. Every season, this always
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
Every season. And every season, Muslera is like, what are you talking about? I am this team's goalie. I wear the number 1 jersey for a reason.
Yeah.
And he just has to prove it every year. He's in a different mindset right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, he did say after he retires, he'll probably go back to Uruguay, to the team he started with. So he's probably not thinking of taking a coaching position or anything at Gala.
Not yet, not now.
He's going to be like tougher for us, but more, I think, in the future. He's just a legend. He knows he stumbled. His kids know he stumbled. There's very little reason for him not to come back here in the future. And no matter who the coach, they know Muslera. No matter who the player, like we've had how many squad players over the last, how long has Muslera been here? Like 10 years?
Yeah.
If
Over
any
10
one of them
11
come,
already, I think.
yeah. Can you think about if any one of them, whether it's Melo, Schneider, Yera, whoever comes as a coach, Turkish or foreigner, they know Muslera. They've worked with Muslera. They shared the locker room with Muslera. They've been captained by Muslera. They're going to be like, hey, Muslera, you want to come and coach my goalies, whoever it is? Muslera's not going to say no.
And they all
Like,
love Muslera.
Who doesn't?
I don't know a single
enemies love
person that
Muslera.
doesn't love Muslera. Exactly. Everyone's like, oh, but dude, Muslera. They would
Yeah.
all love to have Muslera.
Even
On their
other
team.
supporters of other teams.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he's been a huge role in how our foreigners, our big star transfers this season, are behaving and acting as a team this year. Like, think about it. We have Icardi, big name from PSG. We have Torreira, who's been a trouble boy apparently at Arsenal. A lot of fans didn't like him there. We have Mertens, who captained and led Napoli, so he's used to being the number 1 guy there. And then you got other names as well. Like he's the one that's putting all these guys together. Maybe it's the South American connection. Maybe it's not, but he's doing an awesome job, and I love him. That's all I have to say.
I wanted to say one last thing before we close off. A little bit unrelated to the things we've been talking about, but we had a special guest this match. I saw him up in the box seat. He had a chai in one hand.
Yasin's favorite guy.
He was picking at some baklava with the other hand, and it was Jorge Jesus. First of all, who let him
Honestly,
in?
gotta
That's the
respect
first
it,
question.
though.
Yeah, no, he's I can see he's grinding, he's putting the work in to help Fenerbahce succeed, but it was interesting to me. Like he was just, I don't know.
But John,
yeah.
the real question is, can you analyze a football game while drinking tea and eating baklava?
Well, I'm sorry to tell you this. I'm sorry for our listeners. I don't care if I get canceled. I don't care if people think I'm a dumbass. But in my eyes, in my opinion, whether he's drinking chai, eating baklava, in my opinion, he's a fraud. I'm sorry. In my opinion, he's a fraud. I really don't think he's that great of a coach.
Like Kim Min-jae?
Exactly like Kim Min-jae. Number one fraud in my eyes. Exactly like Kim Min-jae.
I thought you would like purposely not bring it up because it's like embarrassing at this point, but you still back that claim up? You're gonna live on that? You're gonna die on that hill, bro?
I don't
Kim
think he's
Min-jae
that
is one
good.
of Europe's best defenders right now.
Oh
what are
my
you talking
god,
about?
bro! I just don't think he's that good. I really don't. Like, if someone laid out, like, okay, if I was building a team that I had to enter in the Champions League, right? And he was in the squad, and I had Nelson and Marcao, I would not be playing Kim Min-jae.
Wait.
I would tell him
Yasin.
to fuck off so
Yasin.
fast.
Yasin.
That's a different story.
Yeah.
If you have Nelson and
Marcao.
Marcao who have that chemistry, who've proven that they work well together, one is left-footed, one's right-footed, why wouldn't you play? That's a different story.
Yeah,
But that's
yeah,
not to say Kim Min-jae is an exceptional defender.
Yeah, but if he's so good, if he's the best center back in Europe, who gives a shit about their connection? I would be putting him. That's like saying I'm gonna bench Van Dijk because Nelson and Marcao have the connection. No, I would look at Kim Min-jae in the eyes. I would tell him to fuck off back to South Korea because he's shit. That's
If
it.
you can see.
You know, you
my-
guys have to have a special episode between you and Yasin regarding this conversation.
So
It'd be
you're
a
telling
banger.
me if Kim Min-jae gets transferred to the Premier League for 50 mil, his release clause, are you gonna still call him shit?
I don't.
Like
it's just
if like
in my
Chelsea pick him
opinion,
up,
he's just not that good in my opinion. I just don't think he's that good. I think
so
he's just
why,
big.
Why are
I think
European fans like all over about this guy?
Because-
right now?
because
Everybody's
he's-
loving him.
he's a big, sturdy defender, and I understand that. But for me, I don't think he's a good. Like the attributes I look for,
From
I don't think
Asia.
he's that good. Yeah.
All right,
From all places.
that's enough irrelevant.
Samet bringing up race yet again.
No,
To another point.
no, big sturdy guy from Asia is like, how is that possible? But
Yeah,
that's why
yeah.
John calls him a fraud because
Yeah, he has
that's not
fraud written all
possible.
over him,
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, last,
everybody
I wanna
listening,
ask,
everybody
no,
listening,
Yasin,
we'll see.
Yasin, Marcao or
No,
Kim
can
Min-jae?
you? Why are you asking?
No, I want to expose you, bro.
No, do you know what? I want
Expose
to know
me.
that too. No.
Right now?
Yes, right now.
Right now? You mean the Marcao that's injured right now, and then the guy Kim Min-jae that's playing 90 minutes every game
Okay,
right now? Like,
okay,
is that what you
just-
want me to compare?
No, I just want you to compare as of in 2022. Okay, Kim Min-jae or Marcao?
Is it for left back? A
If
left center
both
back?
No,
or
you
right
see-
center back?
Listen, if both
No,
were
no.
in shape
This is
and
going
playing
nowhere.
90 minutes.
We have to
90
close
minutes.
it off.
No, because Yasin doesn't want to admit Kim Min-jae.
Yeah, no. Everyone, thank you for listening. If you want to support us, go to our Twitter at the Lions Den GS. Also, you can find us on YouTube at the Lions Den GS. They have a username recently, which we have now. And hey, if you want to give us some money on Patreon, feel free to do that as well. So, with that said, thank you guys for your time. We love you. We love Galatasaray. We love everyone supporting the red and yellow. Have a
On
good
to the
day.
next one. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Bye
boys.
bye.